Welcome back, my Jedi friends, and today we go a little bit mystical when we explore the world of white witches. White witches! Now, I've met a few white witches in my time, and I've met some shite witches as well, folks. So today, let's bring it up. Let's throw it on the table. So the first thing is that most people that do things like white witchcraft tend not to tell too many people, but I seem to be a truth magnet. I seem to be a lunatic magnet. I've had lots of people come to me. I say lots, it's probably about 10 or 20 in my lifetime that have actually opened up about the fact that they do white witchcraft, which is generally using manifestation. So I would say it's energy work, but they call it witchcraft. Witchcraft to energy work, I'd say they're the same thing, folks, the same thing. It's working with energy. It's a little bit mystical. Most people can't explain it. It seems to fall into the same category. And I've met some really shite witches as well, folks. Some that's told me that they did witchcraft and blah, blah, blah. They just had terrible energy. Some were great fun, some weren't. There's the good, the bad, and the ugly in this sector, folks. But it's a fascinating topic. I thought I'd throw it up. And I thought I'd see who turns up for this because we are now bordering on to the esoteric, into the woo-woo world, folks. We're in the woo-woo world. And there's a lot of interesting people in the woo-woo world, folks. I have to be honest, I've had so many fascinating conversations. When you've been to the sort of training courses that I've done, you meet all sorts, folks. I've met beings from the fifth dimension, the sixth dimension, the seventh dimension, transcendental people. I met one guy, that's one guy running around in barefoot, called himself the Barefoot Skywalker, and he was only popping in from the sixth dimension. He had to go off, and this guy was so far out there. I couldn't help but love him. I couldn't help but love spend time with people with that degree of on the well, maybe he is from the sixth dimension, folks. I am not here to say that he isn't. Maybe he is. Anyone that spent the whole day running around in barefoot at the event we were at, I mean, he certainly got my attention. And he actually he had a horn with him and would just like suddenly play this, just burst this horn over. I was expecting elephants to come running over the grounds of Alexandra Palace where I was at the time. I tell you, this guy was so far out there. He made me laugh for a lot of the day, so I'm definitely not knocking these folks. And who's to say, maybe now he is in the sixth dimension doing all sorts of esoteric trickery, folks. Who knows? I am not here to say that he's full of shit. I am not here to say that he is not a sixth dimensional being that just popped in to say hello. But the point being, there's a lot of people that are a little bit out there, folks. Now, because I grew up in a lunatic asylum, and some of you will know this, I spent my life, my first 17 years, my parents were psychiatric nurses. I grew up in the grounds of a psychiatric hospital. So my lunatic magnet has always been flexible. It's normal. It's normal for me to be hanging out with lunatics, folks. And in my world, I would say that the people that know that they're supposed to be lunatics are probably the most level-headed ones. It's the ones that think they're looking after the lunatics, the ones that think that they're in control. They're the ones I worry the most about. And as time has gone on and I follow the lives of these psychiatric nurses, I can tell you for certain, folks, that just because you look after psychiatric patients does not mean that you are psychiatrically sound. In fact, quite the opposite is what I found, folks. Quite the opposite. Now, some people are fairly level-headed, but I always have a thing that at least people who are supposed to be patients know which side of the psychiatric divide that they're supposed to be on. And I've talked about this. There's a freedom that comes with being labeled a psychiatric case. But anyway, I've gone off track. This is meant to be about witches, meant to be about witches and good white witches and shite witches. Well, I've certainly had a lot of fun with both folks. The point being that there's one of the things that I trained in was a thing called neuro-linguistic programming. And one of the things when we work with people is that we have to respect everybody's model of the world. So when people from the sixth dimension used to show up in my reality, then I had to embrace the fact that they were from the sixth dimension. It is not for me to tell them that they're wrong, especially to put my reality on theirs. Now, the fact is, folks, that probably 99.999% of you that are watching this video possibly think, well, you're just deluding them. It's clearly not real. But the fact is, folks, how do you know? How do you really know? How do we know whether something is real or not? There's a question, my Jedi friends. How would we actually know? Would you put your life on it? Would you put your life on it, folks? How do you know that my barefoot Skywalker wasn't from the sixth dimension? I don't know, folks. I don't know. But what I will say is, rather than being a cynical arsehole, I had so much fun speaking to this guy. And the fact was, everything he said was pretty damn level-headed. He demonstrated quite a lot of insight, um, some advanced stage wisdom, folks, I would say, that were coming out of this guy. So, and the fact that he didn't mind the fact that people thought he was out there, I give kudos to him for that alone. And we're going back about 15 years now. I mean, this isn't the recent sort of wokeness where it's normal to go out and look different and be different. This was very much in a time and era where standing out or running around in your bare feet at a business event was definitely not the way. It was definitely not the way, folks. So I tend to attract them. I tend to attract them. And the bottom line is, folks, as far as witchcraft is concerned. And here's another thing. I've been to a voodoo doctor's witch party, a witch doctor's party in South Africa, folks. I've been to two of them. I've been to two of them. I've partied with witch doctors. So my journey has taken me to some far out spots, folks, far out spots. And I'll tell you this, folks, if any of you ever found yourself in the same situation I did, going to a witch doctor party, I would defy you to go and tell them that they're lunatics because it's all about energy, folks. It's all about energy. Wherever people are in your world, you can see what energy they bring to the mix. And you don't need to be an energy expert to know that some people are just really low energy and they're hard work to be around. And you can feel it, folks. You can feel it. People that they make it difficult for you to listen to what they say because their energy just seems to be draining in front of your eyes. So you know what energy is, folks. You know what energy is. And the energy I bring to these videos isn't necessarily the energy I spend every second of every day in. When I'm meeting people, when I'm communicating, when I'm recording, this is the energy I bring because this is the energy that I appreciate when I'm on the receiving end. And it's very easy to change your energy when you're in this world, folks. You can go from low energy, you can decide to have a low energy point, you can decide to lower your energy at any given point. But the only time that I would argue that it's good to lower your energy is when you're with someone in a seriously worse place than you. Because if you're depressed or you've just lost a loved one or you just lost someone, the last thing you want is somebody high energy coming in. Come on, put your chin up. Put your chin up. When someone's just died, you don't want that energy. It's a mismatch. It's a mismatch. So it's good to be flexible on the energy scale, folks. And with regard to the title of this about what is witchcraft, well, when you work with energy, it could be considered so. Because there's a lot that most people will never explain. There's a lot that I've seen that I can't explain. There's a lot that's channeled through me that I can't explain, and neither do I attempt to either. It either works or it doesn't, folks. And when all else fails, the journey that got me into this world in the first place is sometimes there's a point where the NHS writes people off and tells them there's nothing they can do, but they're still alive. And the question people want to know is there any hope? And what I can tell you is that when people have nothing to lose, their mind opens up and incredible things are possible. I'm not saying that they're going to happen, but I'm saying they're possible when people open their minds to alternatives. So, whether you're a white witch or a shite witch, my Jedi friends, Well, only you can decide which one you're going to show up as, or whether it's real, whether it exists. Who knows? Who knows, my Jedi friends? Who knows? And if you want to explore more of these mad topics with me, then by all means subscribe to the channel, folks, because you never know what I'll be talking about. And if you want another little video, it's probably going to be slightly less wacky than this one. You can find it just there. But either way, go out, go and meet these interesting people because you never know who you're going to meet. Respect their model of the world, and you will have fun speaking with them, my Jedi friends. You will have fun.